Okay, I can't do that because I go out of frame. I need to sit like a normal person. Hi, welcome back. Okay, I'm so excited. I've been sick for a week, but we have this. And I've been sitting with this for a week, not being able to do shit with it. I opened it and obviously I've checked that everything's like okay and everything, so that there was no issue. But I'm gonna review this. This is the Viseart Grande Pro Vol.3. I'm so excited. I have, hold on. I have the other two. I have Grande Pro Vol.1, which is neutrals, basically anything you would need for a basic to a little bit more of a fun look. Like anything you would need depending on skin tone, all of that, you have it. These have been limited edition. I think you can get this. Their meaning with this is that it's supposed to kind of look like a book sleeve. And on here you have all the information about what the ingredients and how much is in it. There are 60 grams in this, so there's 2 grams in each pan, and that is the same for all of their Grande Pro palettes. And I think that is the same on the 12 pan palettes as well. Yeah, this is 24 grams, so there's 2 grams in each of these. So I have the neutral matte, I have the warm matte, and I have the dark mattes. Love these. I have the 3 big Grande Pro Vol.1, Grande Pro Vol.2, and then Grande Pro 3. This is what I'm going to review. If you don't know anything about Viseart, they're a pretty small, I wouldn't say, I mean, they're pretty big, like known, but they're quite a smaller company. It's a female-owned brand, and it's owned by Anastasia. This is the Grande Pro Vol.1. These are all of your neutrals. These are built by like rows. So this row is the warm, this row is kind of has like an olive greeny undertone, this obviously has the pink, this has the purple, and this has all of the blue undertones leading to a black. So you have a completely white and a completely black in this. So the Vol.1 is all mattes and neutrals. And then we have the Grande Pro 2. This is an amazing, incredible palette. This is all shimmers. And here they have gone by column. So all of these are different textures. So they go by columns, but then they kind of continue, like they keep a theme with the undertone. So that's kind of the grounds of what the 2 palettes before this one has been. Okay. So it comes in this, and it has the information of all the ingredients. Oh, they have names. I didn't know that they had names because they don't write their names out. I'm guessing probably all of these pans on their newer packaging, you can pop all of these out. They have little indents. So it comes in this, and that also has the information on the back. You get 60 grams of products, which is 2.12 ounces, and it's usable for up to 36 months. I use palettes as long as you make sure that they don't smell weird, they don't start looking weird, they don't go foul in any other way. I use palettes for way longer than they say to use them, because as long as you keep everything clean, then you're fine. So this is it. It's a easel type packaging, and that's with all of the Grande Pros. They fold open like this, and they flip up. It has a little plastic sheet. I usually keep this down, because then if I drop like a brush or something, it doesn't go straight into the shadow, but it has a little bit of protective. It's not gonna damage it, or at least not as much as if it just fell straight onto the shadow. So I usually keep these, even though they're a little bit annoying. So you flip this up and it locks onto itself like that. And it has a great big mirror. And you can see with this one, they've gone back to the columns. They are so pretty. Maybe I think a lot of people probably look at this and go, yo, what am I gonna do with that? But they're built up, like, I don't know if you've seen their little Theory palettes, but they're this big. So they're just this. And if you just take this, you have a little palette. If you just take this, you have a little palette, this, and then same here. You get this, and then you get this. this together and this together. Beautiful. Like, there's an incredibly amount of looks that you could make from this. And there's so many shades here, like these, that are so hard to make. And I cannot wait to see how they perform because they've never disappointed me before. I'll see if I'll do like 2 or 3 looks because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I want to try. I have like a couple things in mind. Cannot wait. I love that they released this in time for Halloween. Apparently they do have names. I just don't know which one's which. I love that. Ow! And that's one of the downfalls to having that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm probably gonna do an eye each so that you can see, because then I can do 1 so I don't have to like scrub 27 times. I think I'm gonna start with the greens. I'm gonna start in this with this color right here, and I'm just gonna put that through my crease, and I'm using a MAC 217. There's a tiny bit of kick up in the palette, but honestly I will rather have pick up in the palette than no pigment on my eyelid. I'm just gonna press it and then blend it. It's really pigmented, but this is beautifully formulated. Oh my god, I dipped in twice. Oh, this doesn't have that kick up at all. Taking this one right here, and I'm gonna put that through my crease again. I'm just gonna try to build this. I don't love the shape that I'm making, but I love the way that the shadow is performing. Let's not overwork it. Oh god. I'll put too much on my brush. I'm gonna take a clean blending brush. I feel like with this palette, keep 2 brushes. I took this one, the top here, at the outer edge a little bit, and then I blended that out. And now I'm taking this one right here, and I'm just gonna pat that on the lid. That is a beautiful shade. It's really high, but that's my blending's fault. Can I take this Precision Smudge Brush from Real Techniques? This is synthetic, so a synthetic brush isn't gonna pick up as much product as a goat haired brush, but a goat hair brush is also not going to pick up as much products as a sable hair brush. So you need to also think about like what kind of brushes you're using depending on what kind of payoff you want. Look at that, I dipped it in twice. That's pretty. That's really, really pretty. And now I'm gonna do something else on the other eye. I'm gonna do this row. For this eye, I'm gonna do a similar thing to show you these shades. I'm not putting any mascara on right now because I want you to be able to see the colors and everything. I'm gonna pick up this shade right here. You know what? We're getting rid of the hair. I'm just gonna tie it back. And I'm tapping it. This is so pretty. Sorry. What to do, 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 what to do. I'm gonna put this in the crease as well. And then I'm gonna put this all over the lid. But then I'm gonna put this, maybe a tiny bit of that, like right just in here. And then this just like all the way underneath. And maybe that will look ugly, but you will see the color. And I'm gonna put that really bright red shade all over the lid like I did with the light green. Oh god, look at that. I wonder if this stains. I don't think it will, but I wonder if it does. I'm putting this really dark color at the top, right at the edge. Going back to the first shade I took. I'm taking this pinky shade right here, and I'm putting that underneath. It blends out so nicely. Going back in, because we blended some of that away. I'm not trying to create like pretty looks, I'm trying to show you what the shadows can do, and I honestly think that that's amazing. I haven't put any mascara on or anything, and I think usually when you do red, my tip is either tight line and like put a little bit of a brown or a black line between your actual eye and the red or the purple or something like that, so you don't look sick, because that puts a barrier in between the colors, so it makes it easier to wear. I'm just going to take these off, and then I'm going to show you two more. So I'm going to take this little, I'm pretty sure this is a synthetic hair. I don't know if it is though. I'm going to grab this dark green. I think I might need a fluffier brush, but I'm tapping it on for now. And I do this a lot. I only put the product on this side of the brush so that when I then turn it with the product up, I don't get it on the lid. Just trying to, jeez, is that one flying? Olive green. Really, really light lime green shade. Putting it right at the inner corner. Then I'm gonna take this shade and continue that. And then we're taking the really, really deep green shade up here, out in the corner. And I'm using the same synthetic brush from Real Techniques. I need something underneath. I'm gonna grab this color. These two look way more vibrant in my mirror than they do in the camera. This deep green blends so well. I'm wiping this little blending brush off. I'm picking up the light gray blue. I'm gonna take the blue above that in this one, and I'm gonna keep building the crease. I'm gonna use the Real Technique smudge brush to just place this really deep blue. Wow, I'm so impressed. I literally tapped it once. The clean blending brush. I'm gonna use this really, really light shade. No, that brush was slightly wet. Oh, you wanna use this wet? Ladies, do it. Like, it was just a tiny bit damp. That gives a bright pop of color if you use it a little bit wet. It will, however, create a tiny bit of a hard pan on your shade. I put that on my finger, so I'm gonna put it on my eye. Oh shit, I put it too high. This really bright blue underneath my eyes. So this is this row over here and this row over here. But this is a sable hair brush, and it was slightly damp. It gives you a completely different finish compared to these two shades here. So if you want the really, really nice payoff, I would get yourself a sabled hairbrush, and you could wet it. It was slightly damp. I wouldn't use it completely wet. I would never put just a wet brush into a shadow. Do not do that. That will create hard pan. If you're gonna use it wet, use a corner, like just put it in the corner and use that. Like if you're gonna use one of these as a liner, which they're amazing for a liner even as dry, but if you're gonna do that with these, just stick to a corner and you're gonna be fine. Fuck it, let's do two more. We're doing the other rows. Okay, let's do one orange eye. Oh, this is a pretty color. I'm dipping into this one, and I'm just gonna put it in the crease. Such a nice, like, pumpkin orange for fall. This is like a true fall row. These two right here. We are gonna blend the edges of that with this. And honestly, if you just wanted like a really nice quad, these 4 right here, that's an everyday eye. If you just used these 3 for your everyday, maybe you're going to work, maybe you're going to school, if you just use that, that's a really fun way to incorporate some color, some warmth, very wearable shades. And then if you're going out or you're doing something for night, you could just add this, and that's such a nice 4 shades together. That's a beautiful blush of orange. Beautiful. Same brush that I used for the green. Tap that in once. I think I'm gonna use this really, really bright orange all over the lid. Used this one and I packed it onto my entire lid. And I'm now gonna use this brush that I put this color at the outer corner with, and I'm gonna use that to pack on even darker at the edge. And then I'm gonna use the darkest color to also bring it underneath my lash line. I look like a pumpkin! Little pencil brush, taking that same deep warm brown and putting it on my lower lash line. And I'm just gonna take, I would say it's a warm yellowy white, and I'm just gonna put that on my brow bone. Like that. And then I am picking up the pale mustardy brown. We're now gonna go into the little bit deeper of a mustardy brown. And I'm grabbing the deepest mustardy brown at the top. Great. Fucking amazing. Now for the yellow. I'm gonna put this brownish yellow shade underneath my eyes. This is a row that is a little bit more sheer, but it's also a more wearable color story. So I understand why they did that. For an everyday type of feel, that's probably these 2 rows that you're gonna go for. So I understand the pigmentation and the way they've made these buildable instead of just pigment straight away. This palette, like in my opinion, I see this as warms and I see this as cools. There is little that you cannot do with this as long as you stick to this side and mix and match in these 3 rows and this side and mix and match here. I think you're gonna conclude beautifully put together looks, and it's really gonna work in your favor. If you're looking for something that's more of a color, if you want to start wearing more color, these are very wearable, colorful shades, and you can just keep everything collected but still use color. With 30 shades in this palette, you get 2 grams in each pan, and where I bought it in Love Makeup Shop UK, you get it for $140. That's a lot of money, but also 2 grams in each pan is a lot. It's quite rare with most brands that you get 1 full gram, but here you get 2 full grams and you get 30 beautiful shades. And if you want to experiment with color, and if you're a colorful person, I definitely think that this is something that's worth spending your money on if you want it. However, if you're like, I'm never going to use that and I'm just going to stick to these rows that are more wearable, then maybe this isn't for you. Maybe just getting their 12 pan Brights palette is enough for you if you want to play with color. Maybe this is too much. I don't have that one specifically, so not having that one, this for me is incredible. They're not shades that exist somewhere else. You're not getting duplicates if you do have any of the other palettes. I would conclude it as this is a wonderful palette. I think the color stories of the cools and the warms, you get so much compacted into one palette that I definitely think it's worth it, and the quality of these is definitely what you pay for. They say that this is limited edition, and the 2 palettes before this, they've also said that those are limited edition, but I know that they've made the first one permanent. Considering the colors that are in this, I would probably think that they're gonna keep this limited edition, because that cannot be cheap. Like, those are really expensive pigments that they're using to make these. They do call this a pigment palette. It is not a eyeshadow palette, it is a pigment palette. This is the first time I try it. Highly impressed. If you are looking for more color, you're looking to incorporate color, you want to wear that, and if that fits your personality and if it's in your budget, if it speaks to you and you really want it, get it. Because I honestly think it's amazing. However, if color isn't your thing and you're like, I'm never going to use those, obviously don't get it. It should also be said that this is a pigment palette. So if you before have had a sensitivity towards pigment, or find that certain types of pigment, certain shades of pigment irritate your eyes, then maybe that's up to consideration as well if you want to get this palette or not. I don't know if there's much more I can say on it. If you like the colors, if you know that you will use it, get it. I'm hoping I made a little bit of sense, but that is all. It'd be lovely if you subscribed. Like it if you liked it. Halloween looks definitely coming up. And thank you for watching.